Today on Breeze TV, another shutdown depends on Trump's signature.
Some local restaurants made their way into vogue.
And the Northam effect hits JMU.
All this and more on Breeze TV.
Live from the Allison B. Parker studio in the School of Media Arts and Design at James Madison University, this is Breeze TV.
Good afternoon, JMU. I'm Sydney Jackstimer.
And I'm Anna Saunders. Glad to have you with us here on Breeze TV. This morning, President Trump declared a state of emergency after signing a new deal to avoid another government shutdown. The deal the Senate agreed to includes just over $1 billion for 55 miles of new fencing, but Trump plans to pull $8 million by redirecting defense and Treasury funds. Some Republican senators worry that bypassing Congress, which controls the power of the purse, sets a worrisome precedent. Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she intends to challenge Trump's decision.
Where we go from here will be for us all to honor the Constitution, especially Article 1.
Democrats have time during the congressional recess to decide on their strategy, and a number of lawsuits are expected to be filed. Trump compared this order to his travel ban, where he expects the ruling to be upheld by the Supreme Court.
Something's been cooking in the Shenandoah Valley. Vogue magazine recently did a feature article on some of the best restaurants in Western Virginia. I visited the local spots to see why they made the list of the South's new foodie hotspots. 4 spots in the Shenandoah Valley that were featured in the Vogue article include Reunion Bakery and Espresso, Automala Farms, Zenodoa, and The Shack. All 4 have a common theme, a focus on the farm-to-table movement and using local ingredients.
So farm to table is really important because it is reducing the carbon footprint for the whole entire country. It's supporting local small farm businesses, and the quality of the food is just better.
Automala Farms is unique to the list because it supplies restaurants with a one-of-a-kind breed of pig called Birkabaugh, a cross between the 2 best pigs, Isabaugh Island and Berkshire. These distinctive pigs are raised free-range to forage on hundreds of acres.
I mean, obviously we put a great deal of effort into our genetic program. We raise forages, cover crops, we mass finish. I think it's the combination of those things and doing it in this area that creates that difference.
This national press has positively affected business. Reunion Bakery and Espresso has seen a significant increase in sales.
You know, I figure like we had like 25% too little food this last week. We were selling out every day at about 11, which I love to sell out. Selling out is ideal. But, you know, you're obviously missing out on a lot of sales if you sell out that early.
Although this article is good publicity, the restaurants keep in mind what is truly important.
To me, that stuff's not very important. What's important is the guests that walk through the door, come in and enjoy themselves and connect with us and connect with what we're doing. That's what's truly important to me.
Reporting for Breeze TV in the Shenandoah Valley, I'm Sydney Jackstimer.
The Senate voted 54-45 to appoint William Barr as Attorney General, and both Virginia senators voted against the nomination. Barr is known for leading the Justice Department during George H.W. Bush's presidency, and recently for calling his role the president's lawyer, a belief that the president should have uncompromising power. Democrats are skeptical over whether he'll release everything Special Counsel Robert Mueller reports, but he pledged when testifying to the Senate that there would be full transparency.
Yesterday was the anniversary of the deadly mass shooting in Parkland, Florida. In the midst of the early morning, students from all around the state of Florida honored the victims of the Parkland shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Chaos and turmoil ensued a year ago at the school. Now a memorial is present to remember the victims of the deadly shooting. The superintendent of Broward County Public Schools spoke about the anniversary.
It's a day that we are calling a day of service and love to honor the victims.
The Governor Northam yearbook effect has called for several universities to pull out their past yearbooks, and JMU is no exception. Blackface was worn and represented in JMU yearbooks dating all the way back to 1917. The yearbooks depict images from costume parties to minstrel shows. Along with many other schools in the South, JMU has had to deal with racist events from its past.
I don't think we've seen the end of blackface. I think the fact that Virginia's governor was outed as being in blackface in his yearbook, I think has put it at the front of the national consciousness.
Coming up, we're going live on the quad to talk about the weather.
American Idiot opens next weekend in Forbes Center.
And SSC offers English learning services to help non-English speakers.
This is Breeze TV.
Forbes Center for the Performing Arts hosts a wide array of shows each year, from jazz ensembles, symphony orchestras, even multicultural performances. But this year's main stage musical is shaking things up a bit. American Idiot opens next weekend on the main stage in Forbes and features every song from Green Day's album, American Idiot. The show tells the story of 3 young men struggling to find meaning in a post-9/11 world, addressing serious issues such as mental health, drugs, and alcohol. The high-energy production boasts a team of guest artists, including a guest director, choreographer, lighting designer, scenic designer, and features students from JMU's School of Theater and Dance and School of Music. On top of the rock and roll concert atmosphere, this show addresses serious topics as well.
I think all in all, this show is about dealing with how life hits you, and I think that we can all kind of learn something in that and learn that even when life comes out of nowhere and kind of gets you where you didn't expect, that we can grow and change from it. I say they should expect a rock show, and that's exactly what we're doing. Like, we're telling this story, but like we're jamming out and we're having a really good time, and I think that everyone in the audience is gonna have a good time as well.
American Idiot opens this Tuesday, February 19th, and runs through the 23rd. Visit the Forbes Center website for more information about other upcoming events.
Amazon's plan to open their second headquarters in Queens, New York is canceled. Amazon said the decision was due to pushback from members of the community, including local and state politicians, who are concerned about the impact Amazon would have on the area. Amazon is still continuing its efforts in opening another headquarters in Arlington, Virginia.
Love was in the air last night in downtown Harrisonburg. The Arts Council of the Valley put on its second annual Cupid Crawl for those looking to celebrate Valentine's Day surrounded by food, drinks, and local art. Ticket holders of the event took a guided art tour through downtown Harrisonburg, stopping at Larkin Arts, The Hub, and Pale Fire. Each stop gave them the opportunity to speak with the artists about their work. With over 50 people registered this year, those involved say the popularity of the event comes from its uniqueness.
Valentine's Day is one of those tricky holidays that some people love and some people hate, and so instead of just doing the typical go out to dinner, go to a movie, this is something a little bit different.
Thompson says the Arts Council hopes to get more JMU students to participate in next year's Cupid Crawl and is open to suggestions on how to make that happen.
In SSC, JMU offers many important services for students. One of these is English Language Learner Services, a program that helps JMU students who are not English speakers. The program has been around for 10 years. Their mission, to provide advocacy and language support to non-English speaking students. The program has workshops for academic success on a variety of topics. Dr. Shrewsbury says if you want to help, here's how. Be friendly, kind, and initiate conversations to make those students feel welcome and integrated.
Particularly for our multilingual students, being able to supply some of the vocabulary and offer sort of a different way to say things, or give an option for students to think through in their native language and their native sort of cultural way that they would approach, say, a writing assignment.
Today is a nice break from the recent cold, rainy weather. Our reporter Conwell Syed is out on the quad. Conwell, how's the weather out there?
Hi Sydney, yes, it's a beautiful day out here on the quad. There are light winds, nothing that requires a jacket. As you can see behind me, there are students playing soccer. They're out here with their pets, they're enjoying the beautiful weather. Today there's mostly cloudy conditions with 16-mile-per-hour winds. Highs we're looking at 60 degrees. Tonight will also be cloudy with a low of 32 degrees. And in Sydney, enjoy this weather while you can because it's not going to last. Snow is coming and it's expected to start early tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Conwell. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go outside.
Coming up next, Dalen has sports for us. What's the update, Dalen?
Today we have an in-studio interview with Maddie McDaniel of JMU Lacrosse, and we will preview women's basketball and men's basketball and softball. Stay tuned for the Breeze TV Sports Wrap.
This is Breeze TV.
Hello and welcome to the Breeze TV Sports Wrap. I'm Dalen Burgess. In breaking news, Colin Kaepernick in the NFL settled his collusion case for his national anthem kneeling protest. The terms of the settlement are currently confidential. On Thursday, JMU men's basketball faced off against the Drexel Dragons from the Convocation Center. Sophomore forward Dwight Wilson had a huge night as he erupted for 20 points and a career-high 18 rebounds to lead James Madison later in the game. Matt Lewis breaks free and gets a huge slam dunk for the Dukes. Matt Lewis played all 40 minutes and finished with 11 points. The Dragons kept the game close, but the Dukes held off a late charge from Drexel to pick up a 71-69 win. Tonight, JMU women's basketball will take on College of Charleston from the Convocation Center. Here are the highlights from the January 20th matchup. Kamaya Smalls led the Dukes in scoring with 19 points on 7 for 11 shooting. Lexi Barrier had a solid night as well, as she contributed 15 points to the win. Kayla Cooper-Williams snatched 8 rebounds to go with 4 blocks, and on January 25th, Cooper-Williams became the all-time blocks leader at JMU with 187. Going to tonight's rematch, the Dukes sit atop of the CAA standings with a 10-1 record. Today, the JMU softball team starts their season with tournament play in Florida. Breeze TV reporter Siobhan Johnson met with the team last week to see how they've prepared.
Since 2014, the JMU softball team has been ranked #1 in the CAA. But after losing the conference championship on their home field last season, they look to grow from the experience and play with a new fire.
I think that we have a really good team this year, and we have a really good shot, and everybody sees us as an underdog, so that kind of gives us a chip on our shoulder.
The Duke's skills will be put to the test with a challenging lineup ahead. But head coach Lauren Laporte sees their potential.
We've, played a pretty tough schedule every year. I think we have the team to really compete and challenge ourselves. And like I said, there's always areas to work on, and I hope our team's a little hungry.
One of those hungry players is pitcher Megan Good. Since 2015, she's received major awards and played a key role in the team's success. Last season, Good was forced to sit out due to a torn ACL. Now that she's healed, she's using her injury to push her forward.
I think the biggest motivation is, coming back from my injury. I think that I can prove to myself that I can get through this and I can still be as good as I once was, I guess.
Good is not only motivated by her personal goals, but her love for her team.
I'm hoping that we can make it to the World Series. That's been our goal.
For Breeze TV, I'm Siobhan Johnson.
Welcome back to the Breeze TV Sports Wrap. I'm Dalen Burgess, and joining us today, we have JMU attacker Maddie McDaniel from women's lacrosse. Maddie, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Last year, you guys won your first NCAA championship in program history. Describe that feeling.
I mean, I still can't believe that it happened. I mean, everywhere I go, I just remember that feeling, and it's just something that is really indescribable.
What was your best moment that you spent with your team? Was it after the buzzer and you celebrated with your team, hosting a trophy? What was your favorite moment?
I actually think so. Afterwards, we took a plane home and we had to wait a little while in a hangar, and we just had the music blaring. Everyone was dancing. We were all still in our uniforms. It was just something I'll never forget.
Well, now that last year is behind you, you guys have started a new season. What are your expectations for the team this year?
I think so. We have a lot of new people and a lot of new roles, and I think right now just coming together and growing that companionship and teammates that we really want to have for this year.
Since you are the defending champs, opposing teams are going to bring their A game. Do you think this will affect your team's preparation going into these games?
Yeah, I think we always talk about just making sure that we know that even though not everyone was on the team last year, we still are the 2018 national champions. Everyone's going to come at us that way, so I think just having that mentality is really important.
You guys started off the 2019 season against ACC foes, UNC and Virginia Tech, and you guys split those 2 games. I know it's early in the season, but can you give us your early assessment of your team's performance?
Yeah, so I think everyone's nervous at their first game, and I think UNC, we just kind of let them take over, and then after that game, we all knew that we had more. We all knew that our competitiveness wasn't there, and so I think that we really focused on that in our preparation for VT, and we went out there and we showed them.
When you played Virginia Tech on Wednesday, you tied your career high with 4 goals. Describe your performance.
I think I was just really angry about what happened the game before, and everyone on the team really wanted to show that we deserved it, that we deserved to win, and I think that that just kind of fired me up and inspired my performance.
What has been your biggest improvement this year?
I think for me, my confidence has been building, which is something that I have been struggling with. So as the year goes on and my confidence gets better, hopefully my game will just get better as well.
And this year you have been chosen as the captain, so you're accepted that new role. How do you think this leadership style will help your team?
I think I am a very easygoing, easy to talk to kind of person, and so I think that my teammates feel that they can come to me if they need something, and I can give advice, and I also know the game of lacrosse pretty well, so I think that I can help with that too.
Maddie, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Dalen. After the break, strong women are being featured in 3 upcoming films.
And we update on the results of the student body elections.
All this and more on Breeze TV.
This is Breeze TV.
This week at Grafton, Clueless is playing at 7 and 9:30 p.m. And in Hollywood entertainment news, on Monday, country musicians gathered in Thousand Oaks, California to perform a benefit concert for the victims of last November's Borderline nightclub massacre. Stars like Tyler Rich and Morgan Evans gave a performance dedicated to help, hope, and healing.
On Wednesday, Disney dropped their first teaser trailer for Frozen 2. The sequel of the 2013 animated hit sees the return of Elsa, Anna, Olaf, Kristoff, and Sven the reindeer in a brand new adventure scheduled to hit theaters November 22nd.
It's Valentine's weekend, so if you're looking for some date night ideas, 3 films are hitting theaters this weekend. First is Robert Rodriguez's cyberpunk action film, Alita: The Battle Angel, which had an opening night gross of $2.4 million. Competing with this film is Happy Death Day 2. The cast of the 2017 horror and comedy hit returned to the big screen, hoping to take the #1 spot in this weekend's box office sales. Finally, Isn't It Romantic debuts. Rebel Wilson stars as a young woman who finds herself trapped in a romantic comedy with her co-star Liam Hemsworth. This parody is hoping to round out the weekend with $22 million in opening weekend sales.
The votes are in. JMU's annual student body elections took place on campus this week. Our reporter Kanwal Syed has more on the election process.
Wondering what the buzz is on campus this week? JMU Student Government Association is holding their major student body elections this week. What many students don't know is what goes on behind the scenes of SGA in preparation for elections. The SGA Elections Commission and Communications team have spent weeks promoting the election and preparing the voting process for students.
Our students do an amazing job of running a fair process, and the student leaders, they do a tremendous amount of work for the student body, for their peers, and for the university in general, really for the whole JMU community.
The Elections Commission values students' opinions and urges that students should vote in the major elections for several reasons.
This is really the way that your problems can be addressed, and having a person who's a student but then also has connections with the administration to represent you is really important.
The polling stations are placed in the high traffic areas of JMU's Student Success Center and Festival Conference Center to allow for passersby to vote between classes.
I hope that whatever happens in the end of this election, that it brings more of an inclusive campus.
Reporting for Breeze TV in Harrisonburg, I'm Kanwal Syed.
Breeze TV's reporter David Ramirez is with the newly elected student body president and vice president. David?
This past Wednesday, the JMU student body voted for their new student body representatives, and I'm joined now by President-elect Aaliyah McLean and Vice President-elect Michaela Dukes. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's exciting stuff. Now, starting broad, what are your guys' goals? Just kind of the overarching goals for your tenure in these positions?
For me, I definitely want to increase student engagement. I'm really big on leadership and students getting involved and really putting what they've learned in classes, but also to other skills. So I'm really big on just hoping to get students more engaged with service, engagement, and leadership throughout the university.
Michaela?
I think one of my goals is to help foster leadership skills within our underclassmen in specific, just because they can tend to get forgotten about in the progression of things. So to focus on underclassmen and to help lead the class councils to achieve their full potential.
Now, it's interesting you say that because you yourself are an underclassman and vice president now of the student body here at JMU, which is pretty incredible. So you talked about engagement and being involved in student leadership. Now, I'm sure, as both of you guys know, at the local, state, and federal level of government right now, there's a lot of cynicism. A lot of people don't trust that the leaders that they elect are working for them. How are you going to build that trust again at the student body here at JMU?
Definitely for me, I'm really big on being involved in other organizations. So I'm already involved in SJ, but I've really tried to foster those relationships with other organizations and communities. So I work at the CSL office, and I've been an alternate weekend break leader before. So I really want to show students that myself as a student, who I am, who is my authentic self. I'll be an OPA, and that's a big mission of orientation. So really showing people that I'm genuine in who I am, and I'm really here for them as well.
Kayla?
I think one of the ways in we can foster transparency between the student government and the rest of the student body is through engagement with other organizations, just like Aaliyah said. So kind of encouraging more of our student leaders within student government to attend, say, other events held by other organizations that may be underrepresented, typically on campus. I think in holding more town halls as well.
Yeah, no, it seems there is kind of an uptick in just enthusiasm in being involved in the civic process. I mean, even with the midterms this past semester, and then even with these elections, all the people, and I'm sure you guys saw, because I certainly heard all your friends and supporters spreading your message around and getting people out to vote. How does that make you feel to see people kind of excited and being involved in this process?
I'm actually a fellow right now for the Center of Civic Engagement in Dukesville, so it was so big to me. Whoever you vote for, regardless if it's me or someone else, just voting and showing that your voice actually matters. Every single voice, every vote matters, because it's who you want to represent you the most and the best. And so for me, it was so exciting to see that everyone showed up, participated, and also knew about it, because sometimes SJ is overlooked. Some people don't know what it is, and I really want to help bridge that gap and seeing that SJ is not just here for us, but here for you, and showing that servant leadership. And I'm not here for me. I really want to take what you want and take that to the administrators and the faculty. So I was so excited to see that, and I hope we just continue to build that years on to years on.
And one last question for both of you. For those that do feel like they don't know where to get started, they want to do something, they want to make a positive change, they want to be involved, but they don't know what that first step is. What would you guys say that first step is?
I think some just advice, for me especially, I did not know who I wanted to be when I came to JMU. I felt underrepresented, being a minority, being a woman. I just did not feel like I fit in anywhere, and just showing people that you have hope in reaching out to someone that maybe is involved. If it's something you want to get to, I know some people get scared, oh, I want to be in the organization, but I'm scared to talk to them. Just being able to be that friendly face to advocate for them. So even speaking to me and Michaela, we have experiences in so many different roles. We would love to bring that and show that to them, so they know that we're here for them as well, to really guide them.
Michaela?
Exactly. I would, just to piggyback off of that, I would say anyone that's in a particular organization, just go up to them. I think forming that relationship first, and just advocating hey, I'm really interested in this. I'm interested in this. And I think especially coming to us as student leaders, or anyone in student government for that matter, just because we have a vast array of involvements and can often lead people to where they would find their passions really grow.
Well, Leah and Michaela, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations again, and we're looking forward to seeing all the positive work that you guys do for the school.
Thank you so much, David. I am just excited to go out and enjoy this nice weather today.
I know, me too, and I hope you guys get to go enjoy it too. Thank you so much for watching.
And have a great weekend.